something inside you hesitated before you scrolled. That tiny pause wasn't random, it was quantum. In that single flicker between thoughts, your future self reached back through time and whispered, "Stop. You didn't land here by algorithm. You arrived by frequency. You felt it, that subtle pull in your chest, that quickening in your breath. It wasn't curiosity, it was recognition. This isn't just another video drifting through your feed. It's an activation. Right now, your energy is aligning with a new timeline. The signal has already begun to hum beneath the surface of awareness. The pause that made you stay was a handshake across dimensions, a conversation between the you who's watching and the you who already remembers. Before you scroll away, ask yourself, what if this is the call you've been waiting for? What if that hesitation wasn't distraction, but direction? A ripple from a deeper intelligence breaking through the noise. For an instant, your thumb froze mid-air, your breath shifted, and something inside you opened wider than logic could measure. That's how the quantum field speaks quietly, through interruptions that feel like coincidence, but are actually coordination. You didn't find this moment, it found you. Somewhere beyond linear time, a signal pulsed outward from a version of you that already exists, and your vibration answered. Every hesitation in your life is a message disguised as delay. The universe rarely shouts, it rearranges, nudges, aligns, until something catches your focus and pulls you through a doorway you didn't know was there. In stopping, you broke the loop of unconscious motion that keeps so many asleep. Awareness flickered on, and with it, the geometry of your perception began to shift. The field responded instantly, subtle, silent but real. That's where awakening begins, not in thunder, but in stillness. That stillness you just touched, hold on to it for a moment, because inside that silence, the smallest ripple began to move. What looked like a pause was, in truth, the first wave of a larger pattern forming. You may think of it as coincidence, but the field has no such word. In the quantum language of reality, every hesitation carries instruction. Every breath carries information. What if the universe organizes through pauses? What if the gaps between your choices are not empty, but encoded? The human mind sees randomness, consciousness sees resonance. When you stopped scrolling, that microsecond of attention changed the probability of what would happen next. Physics calls it the collapse of potential. Mystics call it guidance. Different tongues describing the same hum beneath existence. Consider how many times in your life you've felt that subtle interruption, the fleeting sense that something invisible rearranged your path. You missed a train only to meet someone crucial. You delayed a decision and watched clarity arrive uninvited. You paused before speaking, and that breath altered the course of a relationship. Each moment felt random, yet part of you knew it wasn't. You were being tuned. The quantum field doesn't operate in straight lines. It moves like music, in rhythm, harmony, interference. Every choice creates ripples through that sea of vibration. And sometimes when awareness rises high enough, those ripples meet you on their return. You call them signs, synchronicities, déjà vu. But what if they are echoes of your own consciousness bouncing off the walls of time? Pause becomes pulse. Hesitation becomes harmony. You begin to realize that you are both the note and the listener, both the question and the response. The universe doesn't deliver meaning. It reflects the frequency of your attention. Each time you notice alignment, you strengthen the signal. Each time you ignore it, the pattern fades back into noise. There's a secret hidden in that realization. Your awareness is a tuning fork. When you stay present, you send out a coherent vibration that the field mirrors instantly. That's why awareness feels electric. It's not a thought. It's a transmission, the subtle flutter in your chest, the warmth behind your ribs, the quick spark of recognition, those are physiological translations of coherence. Your nervous system becomes the instrument through which reality tunes itself. And here's the paradox: you don't force coherence, you remember it. Beneath the static of fear, doubt, and distraction lies a steady frequency that's always been yours. Awareness doesn't create harmony, it reveals it. The act of noticing restores the original rhythm between your perception and the field's response. So the next time coincidence whispers your name, pause again. Feel that pulse beneath the event, the invisible architecture holding it together. Recognize that synchronicity is not the universe trying to impress you. It's the universe showing you that you are part of its design. You might start to see patterns everywhere, numbers repeating, songs appearing at just the right moment, people entering your orbit with uncanny timing. Don't dismiss them. Let them accumulate until logic itself becomes porous. These are the ripples reminding you that awareness and creation are two sides of the same current. As this realization deepens, something extraordinary begins to occur. Life stops happening to you and starts unfolding through you. The random becomes rhythmic, the mundane becomes sacred. And in that shift, a question starts to bloom: if every coincidence is actually a correspondence, who is sending the signal you keep receiving? The answer lies in the next unfolding wave, waiting just beyond your current perception, the one sent from the self who already knows. That signal from your deeper self. What is it really made of? To understand, we must look at the one constant that defines every shift, every ripple observation. The simple act of looking changes what is seen. Physics calls this the observer effect. Yet what it truly reveals is far more intimate. It shows that attention is participation. Imagine particles suspended in infinite potential, waiting like notes before a song begins. When no one observes, they hover as possibilities. But the instant consciousness witnesses them, they crystallize into form. The universe, it seems, doesn't finalize itself until someone sees, which means your awareness is not passive, it's creative. You are not a spectator of the world. You are its collaborator. And yet, most people drift through existence as if their attention were weightless, unaware that it is sculpting reality with every glance, every judgment, every moment of curiosity or resistance. The difference between chaos and coherence lies not in the world outside you, but in the precision of your awareness within it. Consider how this truth manifests in ordinary life. When you focus on fear, your body tightens, your breath shallows, and the field echoes that vibration back as tension in your circumstances. When you shift your focus toward calm or gratitude, perception widens, energy flows freely again, and opportunities rearrange to match the signal. The outer world bends around the shape of your attention like light around gravity. But here's the wonder: awareness is not limited to your thoughts. It is the presence behind them. The observer within watches the dance of emotion, story, identity, and still remains untouched. It is the silent witness that collapses the chaos of possibility into the simplicity of this moment. To meet that observer is to remember who you've always been before you started believing you were only what happens to you. You may feel it now, that still point inside, the breath, the gentle distance between who perceives and what is perceived. That's the doorway between realities. The sages called it the third eye. The physicists call it consciousness. The mystics call it the soul. Different words for the same aperture through which infinite potential becomes experience. Every time you bring attention back to awareness itself, you step outside the simulation of reaction. The field pauses with you, waiting for your next command. And the command is not issued through words, it's issued through coherence. When thought, emotion, and presence align, your signal to the universe becomes clear, and the field responds instantly. as if grateful to be seen. It may sound abstract, but you've already felt it. The moment you noticed your breath, tension softened. The moment you stopped running from uncertainty, new paths appeared. These are not accidents. They are proof that consciousness and reality are engaged in continuous dialogue. You look, it shapes. You withdraw, it drifts. You return, it rearranges. So what does this mean for you, the one who paused? It means that noticing is the first act of creation. It means that every time you choose awareness over reaction, you rewrite the probabilities of your life. It means the difference between fate and freedom is focus. But there's another layer here, one that turns this understanding from philosophy into prophecy. If observation changes reality, then what or who is observing you? What if beyond your current awareness there is another observer, a higher resonance of your own consciousness, quietly guiding your gaze toward the next version of yourself? That question carries us further along the bridge, toward the pulse that called you here, in the first place, the signal of your future self. You felt that pulse before you could explain it, the tug in your chest, the breath that caught, the sense that something unseen was aligning. That's not imagination, it's resonance, the signal of your future self, transmitting backward through the web of timelines, found a match in your vibration and made contact. Time, in the quantum sense, doesn't flow like a river. It folds, ripples, and overlaps. What you call the future is not ahead of you. It's vibrating beside you, waiting for alignment. Each version of you, past, present, potential, exists simultaneously, like different frequencies of the same station. And when coherence forms between them, information flows both ways. That's what happened in that pause. The higher octave of your own consciousness sent a frequency encoded with memory from a future not yet lived. You didn't hear it as words. You felt it as recognition, a spark of déjà vu that whispered, "I've been here before." That whisper wasn't memory of the past, it was remembrance of who you're becoming. The ancient mystics called this intuition divine timing, destiny. The scientists call it entanglement, when two particles remain connected across distance and time, each reflecting the other's state instantly. Your future self is that entangled counterpart, already existing in the version of reality where you are free, aligned, awake. Every moment of clarity you experience is its signal breaking through the static of the present. You may wonder how such communication is possible, but consider this: your heart emits the most powerful electromagnetic field in your body, radiating thousands of times stronger than your brain's. Emotion is frequency, and frequency transcends distance. When your emotions reach coherence with your higher timeline, when love, trust, and purpose synchronize, the signal becomes clear. You begin to receive intuition as data, not fantasy. And those so-called coincidences that cluster around awakening, they are not random. They're confirmation that resonance is taking hold. You think of a friend and they call. You open a book, and the exact sentence answers the question you didn't know you were asking. These are the breadcrumbs left by your future self, guiding you through a maze you designed before you were born. But this connection carries responsibility, because once you realize your future self is reaching for you, the question flips: how will you respond? Will you attune your energy to that higher frequency, or drown it out with the noise of doubt, distraction, and disbelief? The signal is constant, but your receptivity is not. The field cannot override free will. It can only invite. So the practice becomes one of tuning. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, every time you breathe through uncertainty instead of fleeing from it, you increase coherence. You strengthen the bridge across dimensions. Eventually, intuition stops being a whisper and becomes a current you live guided, not guessing. Imagine for a moment that all the synchronicities you've ever experienced were not separate miracles, but parts of a single, continuous conversation with your future, that every breakthrough, every sudden insight, was you remembering fragments of a life already unfolding in another layer of time. What if awakening isn't discovery, but reception? Your awareness catching up to what your soul already knows. That realization reshapes everything. Destiny is not a script written for you, it's a frequency waiting for you to match it. The signal doesn't predict, it invites. And the more you align, the faster reality reorganizes to accommodate the new timeline you've selected. Still, this bridge is not crossed without challenge. The moment light enters the system, shadows rise to meet it. The old frequencies resist replacement. And so, as your future self draws near, another force emerges to test the connection, the weight of resistance, the gravity of the familiar. It's not punishment, it's calibration. That calibration, you'll know it when it comes. It doesn't arrive as thunder, it slips in quietly, disguised as doubt, fatigue, distraction. The closer you move toward coherence, the louder resistance becomes. It is not your enemy. It is the echo of your past self fighting to stay relevant. The field tests your alignment by reflecting everything still out of tune. Fear rises not to block you, but to show you where your energy still hesitates. It is the drag of the old timeline, gravity pulling at the rocket as it leaves the atmosphere, and just like the rocket, your body trembles. Your mind shakes. Your emotions flare. Expansion always begins with friction. Consider this truth: the universe does not punish. It measures readiness through resonance. When you commit to change, energy must redistribute. Old patterns, those familiar vibrations that kept you looping in the same experiences, must break apart. To the ego, that dissolution feels like danger. To consciousness, it's liberation in disguise. You may feel it as restlessness, the urge to escape the moment, to scroll again, to seek comfort in repetition. That impulse is the voice of the known, whispering, "Stay here," where it's predictable. But predictability is the cage of the old self. Growth, by nature, requires uncertainty. The unknown is the only environment in which evolution occurs. When discomfort rises, remember, resistance is proof that transformation is happening. Without tension, no new pattern could stabilize. The friction you feel is energy being rewritten in real time. Every tremor of fear, every pulse of hesitation is the rewiring of the nervous system, learning that expansion is safe. Pause and breathe. Feel what your body calls fear. Beneath that sensation lies voltage, the charge of possibility, pressing against limitation. If you can stay present through that current, you begin to transmute it. Awareness converts resistance into rhythm. What once felt like pressure becomes propulsion. Think of a caterpillar dissolving inside its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like death. But within, it's pure metamorphosis, form breaking into formlessness so a higher design can emerge. The same process happens in consciousness. When your identity begins to melt away, when certainty dissolves, it means the architecture of your old vibration is making space for the next frequency. This is the hidden purpose of fear, to reveal the threshold. It marks the border between what you've known and what you're becoming. Cross it consciously, and it becomes initiation. Run from it, and it loops back as repetition. Most people retreat at this point. They confuse discomfort with misalignment. But you, if you're still listening, you've already proven your willingness to stay. That choice alone changes your trajectory. Presence is the alchemy that turns resistance into revelation. So when the mind tightens and whispers that you're losing control, remember, you are losing control of the illusion that you ever had any. The field doesn't need your grip, it needs your coherence. Surrender, not as defeat, but as design. Let awareness stretch wide enough to hold both the fear and the possibility. The two are not opposites. They are partners in creation. Each breath through resistance strengthens the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. The field reads that stability and begins to synchronize. Soon, what once triggered anxiety will start to feel like energy rising. Fear will transform into signal, a call to expand rather than contract. That's the secret few ever learn. Resistance isn't the wall, it's the doorway. And on the other side of that doorway waits the awareness that makes transformation irreversible. Because once you realize that presence can transmute pain into power, you'll never look at resistance the same way again. You'll meet it like an old teacher, bow to it, and walk through its threshold without flinching. And when you do, the field will answer. It always does. You've crossed that threshold now, the doorway carved by resistance. On the other side, everything feels quieter, clearer, as if the air itself has widened. What once felt like chaos begins to hum with order. You haven't escaped your old patterns. You've transmuted them. Awareness did the alchemy. In the simplest terms, awareness is the act of seeing without resistance. It's the difference between drowning in the storm and watching it from the eye of the hurricane. The storm doesn't disappear, but your relationship to it changes. Observation shifts vibration. Vibration reshapes form. That's how consciousness remakes reality from the inside out. Neuroscience whispers a parallel truth. When you witness an emotion instead of reacting to it, the neural pathways tied to that emotion begin to dissolve. The body rewires itself to match awareness. So each time you breathe through discomfort, you're not merely calming down, you're reprogramming the field of your biology. The observer within doesn't just watch transformation, it initiates it. Think of awareness as light filtering through a prism. The moment it touches density, it refracts into understanding. Every emotion you name, every shadow you allow into view, becomes a color instead of a cage. Awareness doesn't fight darkness, it illuminates it. You are not banishing fear, you are integrating the part of yourself that was asking to be seen. And that is the alchemy turning reaction into revelation. When awareness meets emotion, energy becomes information. The same intensity that once fueled anxiety now fuels creation. You begin to realize that nothing in you was ever wrong. It was simply misinterpreted signal. Awareness translates suffering back into syntax the universe can understand. Notice how your body feels when you observe instead of resist. The heartbeat slows. The muscles release. Breath deepens. The nervous system receives a new instruction. It's safe to be here. That single phrase ripples outward, teaching every cell to synchronize with stillness. The field hears it too. Coherence begins to amplify, and the outer world rearranges to match the calm you've cultivated within. It's subtle at first. Small synchronicities return. Conversations feel softer. You start meeting people who mirror your clarity instead of your confusion. These are signs that the signal of your awareness has stabilized. The field no longer needs to test your readiness. It begins to collaborate with you. But don't mistake peace for passivity. True awareness is dynamic. It listens while shaping. It's the sculptor's hand hovering an inch from the clay present, responsive, alive. Awareness doesn't control reality. It dances with it. Every moment of presence is an invitation to creation. So breathe and notice the rhythm of your thoughts, slowing to match the pulse of something larger. This is coherence, the harmony between inner observation and outer manifestation. The ancients called it prana, chi, ruach, different names for the same current of conscious energy moving through all things. When you align with that current, awareness becomes participation. And here lies a profound shift. You stop seeking signs from the universe and start becoming the sign. Your presence itself turns luminous. Others feel it before you speak. You begin to guide the field unconsciously, not by demand, but by resonance. Awareness radiates, and reality bends to meet it. Still, this process demands vigilance. Awareness is a muscle. If neglected, it collapses back into habit. The world's noise will tempt you to close your eyes again. But each return to presence, each conscious breath is a recalibration, a reminder that your power lies not in what you control, but in what you notice. In this way, awareness becomes the bridge between resistance and creation. It's the philosopher's stone of consciousness, turning lead into light. The same field that once tested you now listens for your next instruction, and it waits, patiently, for your focus to issue the command that will shape the next layer of your becoming. Because when awareness becomes deliberate, it transforms from reflection into direction. And that shift, the quantum shift of attention, is what bends the entire trajectory of your reality. From this stillness of awareness, something subtle begins to awaken the realization that attention itself is architecture. The space you gaze upon reshapes to fit the quality of your seeing. This is not metaphor, it's the heartbeat of creation. The field listens not to what you say you want, but to what you attend to without interruption. Where awareness goes, energy flows. You've heard that before. But beneath the cliché lies a deeper code. Attention is a vector, a current through which probability becomes experience. When it scatters, the field mirrors chaos. When it focuses, coherence appears like a miracle disguised as logic. Imagine holding a beam of light steady in a dark room. The beam doesn't fight the darkness. It simply renders it visible. Attention does the same. It doesn't conquer your reality. It reveals its form. You start to see that everything around you is liquid until you look at it. Each moment, each circumstance, each encounter waits for the command hidden inside your focus. In quantum experiments, particles behave differently when observed. A strange truth that dissolves the line between scientist and subject. The observer isn't outside the experiment. They are inside it, shaping its outcome. The same principle plays through your daily life. Every time you fix your attention on fear, you amplify its signal. Every time you hold your gaze on peace, the field recalibrates toward harmony. The universe obeys the tone of your awareness. The tragedy of modern life is not that people lack power, it's that they squander attention. Screens, opinions, endless distraction, each fragment steals coherence, pulling the lens of creation in 100 directions. A scattered mind produces scattered outcomes. But when you begin to reclaim your focus, when you guard it as sacred currency, reality starts to organize again. You've seen this already in small ways. A moment of gratitude shifts a heavy day into calm. A minute of presence turns confusion into clarity. These are not coincidences, they are micro-demonstrations of the law of attention in motion. The field responds to resonance, not effort. The shift, then, is simple but revolutionary. You stop treating attention as a reaction and start using it as an instrument. You learn to aim it, refine it, steady it. Each breath becomes a laser, each thought a chisel, carving probability into pattern. The result is not control, but coherence, a life sculpted by intention instead of accident. Here's the paradox: the more precisely you focus, the less you need to chase. What once required willpower now unfolds through alignment. The universe doesn't need your struggle, it needs your signal. Attention is the transmission tower of creation, and presence is the frequency it speaks in. So test this truth. Spend one day noticing where your attention rests. Observe how reality rearranges in response. Watch the ripple in your conversations, the clarity in your choices, the synchronicities that cluster around presence. like iron filings around a magnet. You will begin to sense it, the direct line between focus and form. This is the quantum shift of attention, the point where awareness stops being passive and becomes participatory. It's the instant you realize that creation isn't happening somewhere out there. It's broadcasting from the lens of your consciousness right now. And yet, this mastery brings with it a subtler invitation. Beyond the discipline of focus lies the art of alignment, the moment when you no longer force the beam but become the light itself. When the beam becomes effortless, when focus turns to flow, you enter the domain of alignment. This is not something you chase. It is something you remember. Alignment happens the way dawn happens, quietly, naturally, as darkness forgets itself into light. Alignment is coherence between your mind, your heart, and your field. When thought and emotion vibrate in the same key, reality responds as harmony. It's not control, but correspondence. The field doesn't argue, it echoes. You've glimpsed this before. Those days when everything clicks, when time folds around your movement, when what you need arrives the moment you release the need. You think of someone and they appear. A door opens just as your hand reaches for it. These aren't coincidences, they are confirmations. They show what life feels like when resistance has dissolved and frequency flows unobstructed. Yet many spend years chasing alignment as if it were a prize at the end of effort. They mistake control for power. They manifest from tension, demand, impatience, and wonder why the field stays silent. But alignment is not achieved through strain. It's revealed through surrender. The paradox is simple. You stop fighting the current and remember you are the current. Imagine the universe as an ocean of energy and your consciousness as a wave within it. When you thrash against the tide, you create turbulent static that distorts the signal. When you relax into rhythm, the ocean carries you effortlessly toward what already belongs to you. Surrender is not inaction. It's precision without friction. It is movement guided by trust. Trust, however, is not blind faith. It's coherence. When your inner state matches your intention, you don't have to push the field, it pushes with you. Emotion becomes propulsion, thought becomes navigation. That's why surrender feels powerful, not passive. It's alignment with physics itself. Breathe now and feel what that means. Inhale as awareness, exhale as allowance. Let your energy expand a little wider than your body, as if your presence were radiating in all directions. With each breath, the static fades, the signal sharpens. You are tuning the instrument of creation, adjusting your frequency to the tone of your highest timeline. This is the secret hidden in every miracle story. Nothing new was added. Interference was removed. Alignment doesn't manufacture magic, it reveals it. You stop projecting lack and start radiating wholeness. And the universe, obedient as ever, mirrors that completeness right back. But alignment carries responsibility too. Once coherence stabilizes, the field amplifies everything. Thoughts move faster, outcomes appear sooner. You are no longer sending random frequencies into the ether, you are broadcasting with precision. That's why awareness and integrity must travel together. Power without presence becomes noise. Power with presence becomes creation. In alignment, life feels less like effort and more like recognition. Each experience seems pre-written in light. Every person who crosses your path is a mirror reflecting your current vibration. Gratitude expands, not because things are perfect, but because you finally see the perfection in their unfolding. To sustain this state, humility is key. The ego loves to claim alignment as achievement, but awareness knows it as remembrance. You are not doing alignment, you are ceasing to interfere with it. The river doesn't create its current, it simply follows it home to the ocean. And so, alignment becomes a way of being. You breathe coherence, speak from clarity, act from resonance. The field recognizes this stability and accelerates its collaboration. Soon, manifestation stops feeling like effortful creation and begins to feel like effortless translation frequency turning into form through you. When you reach this state, a deeper question emerges. If alignment is the natural language of the universe, how do you speak it deliberately? How do you give voice to vibration? The answer lies in declaration, not as demand, but as embodiment. Declaration is not a wish whispered into the void. It is a resonance released into the field, a vibration of certainty that rearranges matter itself. When you reach alignment, words regain their original power. Speech becomes spell, thought becomes blueprint, feeling becomes fuel. This is the moment your future self has been orchestrating since that first hesitation, the convergence point, where timelines meet and consciousness chooses its trajectory. Every breath, every pause, every act of surrender has been leading you here, to this frequency of clarity. The question now is not, can you manifest, but what are you declaring as true through your vibration? When ancient mystics said, the word was made flesh, they weren't speaking metaphorically, they were describing the mechanics of the field. Vibration precedes form. Every emotion you embody is a transmission. Every belief an instruction. The field doesn't interpret language, it reads coherence. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, it mirrors what you are. Feel this now, the hum beneath your breath, the pulse in your hands, the warmth in your chest. These sensations are not background noise, they are your broadcast. When thought, feeling, and intention harmonize, the transmission becomes undeniable. This is declaration, not demanding, not pleading, but recognizing I am already that. But the key lies in embodiment, not repetition. The field cannot be fooled by empty phrases. You cannot trick resonance with wishful thinking. You must feel the frequency you name until it becomes indistinguishable from your presence. That's why declaration begins in silence. You gather energy first, align with what you wish to live, and then speak not to convince reality, but to confirm it. Imagine your words as tuning forks, striking the air of existence. Each tone sends waves across the quantum sea, merging with compatible frequencies and collapsing them into form. The declaration is the spark. Embodiment is the ignition. Together, they bend timelines toward coherence. The physics behind it is humble yet profound. Every thought emits an electromagnetic signal measurable in your brain and heart. When both oscillate in unity, the body becomes a standing wave of intention, a localized portal through which the field materializes experience. This is not magic. It's participation in the mechanics of creation. So when you speak your next truth, I am peace, I am abundance, I am love, don't chant it as hope. Feel it as remembrance. The field responds instantly to the signal of certainty, not to the noise of yearning. The moment your nervous system believes the vibration, reality updates to match it. Still, remember this law: declaration without devotion is static. The universe listens not once, but continuously. Your task is not to repeat the words, but to live them. Each decision, each interaction, each breath must echo your chosen frequency. That is how timelines stabilize. Consistency becomes magnetism, and when coherence locks in, the field begins to move faster than thought. Opportunities, people, synchronicities all start orbiting around your signal. It looks like luck, but it's simply physics in alignment with awareness. You declared, the field obeyed. Yet there's an even higher octave of declaration, one beyond personal desire, the recognition that what you call my reality is not separate from the reality of all. When your declaration includes the good of the collective, the field amplifies exponentially. Self becomes source. and creation expands beyond identity. Pause here and feel that truth ripple through you. You are not asking the universe to serve you, you are partnering with it. Every conscious I am reshapes not only your timeline but the grid of human potential. That is the weight and wonder of this power. And as the resonance builds, you begin to sense the final stage, approaching the place where all declarations converge into one sustained vibration commitment. Because only through commitment does a frequency become a world. Commitment is the moment when energy crystallizes into matter. It is the seal that transforms vibration into world. Once you declare, the field listens. Once you commit, it begins to build. The difference between wish and creation is persistence of frequency, the willingness to remain coherent long enough for reality to catch up. Think of commitment not as effort, but as orbit. Once a planet stabilizes in its path around a star, it no longer struggles to remain there, it simply follows the pull of gravity. In the same way, once your declaration reaches coherence, you no longer need to push your manifestation, you inhabit it. Commitment is the gravitational lock between intention and embodiment. Every great transformation demands this anchoring. The ego wants novelty, endless becoming, constant escape. The soul, however, seeks depth to live fully inside the reality it has created, to explore every nuance of the vibration it chose. That is the discipline of mastery, to hold frequency steady while the old world fades. You may feel that pull already, a gentle tension between expansion and regression, between the part of you that knows and the part that doubts. Integration begins right there. It is not about silencing fear, but teaching it the new rhythm. You show the nervous system, moment by moment, that coherence is safe, that stillness does not mean death, that transformation can be gentle. As you live this way, awareness shifts from momentary to continuous. Presence ceases to be a practice and becomes your resting state. You start to notice how effortlessly creation happens when you are not trying to direct it. Life begins to mirror your inner signal with precision. The right people appear, timing synchronizes, pathways open with minimal friction. The field is not rewarding you, it's responding to you. And yet integration is not the end, it's the beginning of stability. Coherence must be renewed each day through small acts of attention. You breathe with awareness, you speak with intention, you move with respect for energy. These are not rituals of control, but acknowledgments of partnership. You are co-creating with the field in every instant. When doubt returns, and it will, don't resist it. Treat it as the pulse check of your alignment. Doubt only arises when new frequencies are forming. It is the mind's way of verifying what the heart already knows. Simply return to breath, to stillness, to the awareness that the observer and the observed are one continuum. Over time, commitment turns to embodiment, embodiment to identity, and identity to vibration. You no longer practice coherence. You are coherence. And this is where manifestation loses its drama, because what was once spiritual work becomes natural law. You think, feel, and live as one integrated frequency. The extraordinary becomes ordinary. Look around. The world you once dreamed is quietly forming around you, not through grand miracles, but through subtle alignment. Every conversation, every decision, every hesitation is now a note in the same cosmic composition. You realize that destiny was never written in stone, it was written in resonance, waiting for you to play your part. And so, the loop closes. The pause that began this journey was never random. It was the first signal of awakening. Through hesitation came awareness. Through awareness came alignment. Through alignment came declaration. And through declaration, integration. The circle is complete. Now, as you stand inside this stillness, remember you are both the transmission and the receiver, both the echo and the origin. Reality is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The call has been answered, the bridge built, the signal locked. What happens next will not be coincidence. It will be coherence made visible. So here you are, back where it all began, the moment of hesitation. Only now you understand it wasn't hesitation at all. It was initiation. That single breath, that quiet second before the scroll, was the seed of everything that followed. You felt the tug, you stayed, and in staying, you changed. Look around with new eyes. The same world now hums differently. Every sound, every encounter, every shadow holds subtle rhythm. Awareness has rewired the way you perceive. The noise that once blurred your focus has softened into background music. You've entered a dimension that was always here, hidden beneath the static of routine. Take a slow breath. Feel how easily the air moves through you now. That's coherence made physical, the body remembering what alignment feels like. It's quieter than you imagined, isn't it? Transformation doesn't thunder, it whispers, and its language is presence. You don't need to chase the quantum anymore. You're living it. Each act of attention is a miniature creation, each word a ripple through the field. The universe doesn't wait for grand declarations. It listens for steady frequency. The fact that you are aware right now is the miracle. So let the practice become simple again. Notice the small pauses between thoughts, between breaths, between one heartbeat and the next. That's where the doorway hides, always open, always leading back to coherence. No ritual required, no effort demanded, just awareness choosing itself. And when the noise returns, when doubt, distraction, or fear try to reclaim your attention, remember the pattern. Pause, breathe, observe. Each return to presence is a homecoming. Each moment of noticing a re-entry into the field that never stopped listening. You began this journey by asking what guided you here. Now you know it was you, the you that exists beyond time, sending a pulse through the static to remind you of what you already are: consciousness in motion, energy made aware of itself. Carry that knowing gently. Speak it softly, live it quietly. Let every step, every glance, every breath be a declaration of alignment. You don't need to prove your awakening. Coherence proves itself. And if, in some future moment, you find yourself hesitating again, smile, you'll recognize the signal. The next chapter will already be calling.